Hello, hello. Morning,
Hey,
Johnny Mo.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, no complaints.
Yeah. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Good Friday.
Well, it's not Good Friday anymore. That was last Friday, right? So
It's
does
still
does
Good
that make
Friday.
this bad Friday?
It is still Good Friday.
So they're all good. Anyway,
You get
so
old
what's
like me, they're all Good Friday. Yeah,
yeah? What's new?
nothing for me. Nothing, man. Just watching this weird market, and watching excuses fade away because the people that we watch and the people that we're around don't they're not bound by those excuses that other people come up with. Whether there's no inventory, whether you are, oh, I'm too young, right? Whatever it might be. My Facebook post today was about somebody on your team who's 20 years old, has got 23 on the contract, and the majority of them are listings. What excuse do you have now? When I said to him, hey, congratulations on your achievements, man. Good work. He said, or congratulations on your hard work and your dedication, whatever, and your achievements. He goes, oh, it's easy, man. I said, it's easy. How? He goes, I just make phone calls till somebody says yes. And then I go meet with him.
But
And I'm like, damn, that's great. You know what? He only works 4 days a week. He's out mountain biking, skiing, hiking, doing his thing. And I was like, why do agents have such hard times then? Um, yeah, if you copy that's the Facebook problem
yeah,
right there. If you copy a
yeah,
Facebook link, it puts all its Facebook tracking
yeah.
bullshit in there. That's
Second
why
stuff's good.
That's why I'm in a full on focus to get off of Facebook and out of the Facebook ecosystem personally.
That's painful.
Use it for groups, use it for broadcasting messages, and that's about it. Besides, everything is just tracked, and I want to be away from it a little bit. But yeah, no more excuses, man. What excuses does anybody have? Oh, next one. Who are they calling? Everybody. Circle dialing, leads that are in databases, calling areas that people want to move to, sending out letters, right? Run everybody. You call everybody.
Yep.
He's got 23 on the contract. You know, agents don't even sell 23 a year.
I mean, the average agent only does what, 7? Is that the last NAR stat was 6 or 7?
Something like that. Nah,
So,
that's okay if you're in Newport Beach.
well, yeah, exactly. If you're at a 7-figure price point, that's you can do all right off of that. But the average agent is especially in this market, if the average agent is doing 7 and their business goes down 10 or 20%, that's it's not sustainable.
No, no,
And I
that's down to 5 or 6, right? But we're in what's the average price point? I think we're at like 380 or
yeah,
414
just
somewhere.
around 4.
Yeah, so it's not like you know what I mean. You're not gonna be on the cover of Realtor.com
Yeah.
or Realtor magazine.
Yeah,
You
no,
know what I
maybe
mean?
not.
You
And I
ain't
and I
getting that.
and I put a video out this morning. It's that exact message. It's basically along the lines of this business is incredibly simple. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Mhm.
If you talk to enough people and figure out how you can help them, you'll do just fine. The problem is so few people stay in it long enough to see that result.
Mhm.
They get frustrated, they change directions, they chase the next shiny object, and they never dedicate enough time to any one thing to allow them to gain momentum and traction, and they just end up spinning their tires for too long.
I think that is absolutely accurate. I also think they get too carried away and busy, right? You always heard that term that misery loves company and all that other stuff, right?
Mhm.
It's the same thing. Message you. Okay, how do I chat? Can I chat on this thing?
No, I've shut yours off.
Oh, awesome.
No.
Um, right? Misery loves company. So doesn't drama, right?
Oh, yeah.
So doesn't drama, and so you want to get away from that, right? If you got Becky and Tom in the office that are always complaining about this, complaining about that, get away from Becky and Tom. Otherwise, you're going to become Becky and Tom Jr., right? And
Right.
you don't want that. Stay away from negative people. Stay away from people complaining. Honestly, Harrison, it's as simple as make. I don't know why people overcomplicate it. Now, I'm going to say all these other things that we do is to get to this one point.
Mhm.
This one point only. It's to have 20 conversations per day. Do you make YouTube videos and get a lead, come in, have that conversation? Do you pick up the phone, have it? Do you make a video? Do you network, right? We do all of these activities so we can get down to this simple point of having conversations with people about real estate. Two-way conversations, nothing more. There's nothing glamorous about it, right? One of the issues that we see is that, everybody wants to be here as quick as possible. But when you climb Mount Everest, there's a process you have to go through to
Right.
get to the top. Getting the permits in place is one, right? That you're getting licensed, getting the money up to get to Nepal. That's another one. Getting from Nepal to base camp. That's a whole process within itself. And then you get to base camp one, you got to hang out for a little while, get acclimated, hike up to base camp two, get acclimated, and then you can finish your ascent, right? So there's a process you got to go through to get to the top.
Yep.
And no matter what anybody thinks, the process is the same thing for everybody to get to the top of that Mount Everest. There's no other way. And that's the same thing as business. There's only really one way, and that's doing the work. There's no other shortcut. Believe me, I've looked for them all.
Yeah.
There's no other shortcut. Right?
No, it's and it's really, you've got to do the work. So when you look at, we're wrapping up the 90 and 90 here. And again, like, it wasn't about taking 90 listings in 90 days. We would have loved to have taken 90 and 90, and we've done it before. We've taken 91 in 89 days.
Yeah.
So it's doable. But I look at the market that we're in, and we're going to close out right about 60 listings in 90 days, which we've in the last 90 days, we've taken more listings than some of the brokerages around us. And I don't say that to brag. I just say that to get real about the fact that the difference is we were doing the work every day. Jeff and Will and Alex, our three key listing agents are literally every day. They're sending the letters, they're making the calls, they're doing the follow-ups, they're going on appointments, they're converting those appointments, they're taking listings. And it's not rocket science. It just isn't. You just have to do the things, and you have to take the steps, and you got to commit the time, and you've got to commit the focus. And those people that do exceptionally well in this business. Those people that don't. And a lot of agents right now are just looking for, I need the warm lead. Where's the handoff? Where's the come list me phone call? And we got those the last couple of years. We're not getting those anymore. Now you've got to go out and find the motivated people. And it comes down to actually talking to people, finding out if they need your help. If they don't, terrific. I'm going to stay in touch and help you any way that I can. But if they do, then you move forward.
If there is a come list me lead, it's going to be expensive, and I can promise you that the other 1.5 million real estate agents, or realtors, I should say, not real, there's about 3 million real estate agents, okay?
Yep.
1.5, 1.6 million realtors. They've already looked for it. They've already bought it. Gary Keller said back, it might have been 2011 or so when I went to this particular family reunion, and he said, the future is mega teams.
Yep.
And teamerages, and he is basically talking about how the cost for leads is going to get so expensive. He ain't far off. I mean, you try to go get some significant. Listen, some people will argue with me. That's perfectly fine. Oh, you can go get obscure zip codes, this, that, the other thing.
Sure.
Great. I don't want to work in the obscure zip code.
Terrific. Yeah.
Right. I want to work here. And here's taken.
There's a reason those markets aren't competitive. I'm just saying, there's a reason that those obscure zip codes are available, because nobody else wants them.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that market that's 8 homes a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too, because a lot of the conversation I'm having with agents around this area, but also in other parts of the country, is everybody for a while there is so focused on split. It's all about split. Splits and caps. That's all I wanted to talk about. And I think a lot of agents right now are realizing that, everybody wants a higher split. I get it. But it's what you get for that. And it's also what it allows your business to do and what you net from it. So this industry is obsessed with gross commission income, GCI. All about GCI. I don't give a crap about GCI. I could not care less about GCI, because last time I checked, you don't actually do anything with GCI but pay your bills and take home the net. So really, if you don't understand the difference between gross and net, the split doesn't solve that. You need to actually look at your business in its entirety, not just the gross, but also based on the gross, what you get from that gross, what that allows you to net. What you're going to find, and we find this consistently, is most agents on teams actually net more money than those solo agents at a same production level, because the team agents have no expenses, because it's all paid for them. So if they have a month where they don't have a lot of volume, they don't pay anything. If they have months with a lot of volume, then they do pay more. But when you average it out, because it's built into the split, most team agents are actually more profitable than your solo agents because they don't have all those expenses and they're not paying for all those things they need. It's
You
all
said a
included.
word that's underutilized or underdiscussed in our business, and that is profit, right? And
Yep.
far too many people do look at the gross. And I could care less what my gross is.
Don't
I want
care.
to know what my net is, and I don't want headache. As somebody that shit, my team back when it was hard to do 42 million, we were doing 42 million. Okay, um, three of us, and so I know what it takes to do that. I know what it takes to be a solo agent doing 10 million. And at this point in my juncture, where I don't want to abdicate, but where I can delegate and say, "See your problem now, right? I'm on to do what I do." To me, that is a positive. Too many people. Let me ask you a question. You're a smart dude. You got your MBA. What is 100% of zero?
I mean, I'm not great with math, but I'm pretty sure that's still zero.
Right. So people say to me often, "Oh, I just got my license. What should I do?" Join a good team. I don't say join a team. I say join a good team.
Yep.
Right? Because not all teams are the same. Not all some teams, you know what I mean. They just don't have the systems and the resources in place and everything else like that. And they're just starting a team because they're looking at it as a numbers game.
Right.
But you got to look at it as something bigger and something deeper. And even with what Matea Group's doing up there, it's a brand. It's becoming bigger. And even what we're doing with I Love Portland, Maine, and business advocacy networking groups, it's getting bigger. You know what I mean? The name's getting
Yep.
out there more. There's more visibility. There's more opportunity. And you have to look at this as being on a team. You ride the coattails
Mhm.
of the rainmaker, right? That's what. So sometimes you have to look at your own ego,
Right.
because some people want their name up in lights. I could care less if my name's up in lights. We got a mission to do. Let's do it, right? I want to help everybody else be better. I don't necessarily want to
Yep.
be the person in lights anymore. I did that. You know what I mean?
No,
It's not my
no, but
thing.
at the same time, like we do, when you look at how we promote a listing, it's not Jeff's face that goes on the email out to the boards and in our newsletter. It's the agent's face.
Mm-hmm.
We encourage our agents to make videos and produce content that actually helps them build their brand. And we utilize our partnership with Evolution Media Group to do that, for the team, but also for our agents on the team, because ultimately, yeah, you're a part of the Matea Group and Jeff's name is on the place. But really, we want you to be able to build, Johnny Moe real estate, basically powered by the Matea Group. So it's, yeah, you're on the team, you're part of the team, but really you're building your own brand, your own business, your own database. But the difference is, we're providing all the support, the leverage, the marketing, the technology, the branding help, helping you with the coaching, the accountability, all the training. Like, we're giving you all these things so you can build that bigger business, but we're not trying to make you live in anybody's shadow. You can be you, but
Mm-hmm.
ultimately you're plugging into an ecosystem that's been built by somebody else. You've got to believe in.
You know what else going on a team allows you to do? Now each state's different, so I've been licensed in 3 states and I've worked with people in all. I'm going to talk about Maine specifically, and Maine specifically. For some crazy reason, I can't make a video, even with Zillow in the back, with public information, and say, "Oh my God, did you see this listing?
Yeah.
This just hit the market." I can't do that in Maine. For some crazy reason, they think it's
Yep.
infringing upon somebody's marketing. It's a public effing website.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, so a little behind that, but being on a team, especially you took 60 listings in 90 days. That's 60 pieces of collateral that I can leverage
Hmm.
for my own marketing. Because
Right.
now I'm on the team, I can say, "Hey, look what the team just took," and nobody can complain, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
"Hey, look at the team just could this. It got an open house on Friday or Saturday from 12 to 2, blah, 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 blah. If you would like more information on that, just reach out to me. Here's my website. I'll send you all the information." Oh, when you go there, tell them that you're working with me.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, you get a lot of instant credibility by being around a group that's doing that, not just from a marketing perspective, but also when people say, "Well, how many have you sold?" Well, we've sold,
Yeah,
and
always we.
you can get right into using the cloud of the team and too. So 60 listings in 90 days, but that's also generated over 100 pieces of business total.
Yeah.
Because from there comes a lot of other things. And with that, let's jump into the learnings this week, because that's one of the first learnings. And this is a huge mistake. I made this when I was new to this business too. When we're talking with somebody and maybe they don't need to buy or sell a home right now, always ask if there's something else they need. Because I literally had this happen to me last week. I was talking to somebody and they really didn't need anything right now. I said, "Oh, is there anything else you need?" "Well, yeah, I really need a commercial space for my business. Do you guys do that?" "We absolutely do." And actually, I do that. So even better that we're talking. But we find so many opportunities to either help people lease commercial space, buy or sell investment properties. And great, that's business we wouldn't have had if we didn't ask the question of, is there anything else you might need? But along those same lines, sometimes they just need a great referral to a plumber or an electrician or a contractor, which now gives you a great opportunity to add some value, show your worth. But now when you follow up in the future, they're thankful. They're actually glad to hear from you because you've helped them. So don't, it's not just, you don't need to buy or sell. Okay, click. It's, oh, you don't need to do anything right now. Great. Is there anything else you might need? And let them talk for a second, because you may find some serious gold in that conversation and just a way to help them that allows you to just stay in touch and build that relationship.
Yeah. 100%. Man, listen, at the end of it all, I mentioned a minute ago, we do all this stuff so we can get to that conversation. We do all this stuff so we can build a relationship.
Yep.
All right? Real simple. We do all this stuff so we can build a relationship with people, because relationships is that opportunity to have the conversation with somebody. You want to support people, like, and trust. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes somebody knows 2 or 3 real estate agents.
Sure, absolutely. And they should.
Jeff and I were at a video shoot yesterday, and we had them, do what we do and say what they say, as like a little testimonial or a little soundbite, if you would. And one of the things I said and Jeff both said, we don't want you to do this if you don't feel comfortable. If you have a
Mhm.
real estate agent that you're going to piss off, like, oh no, we don't have a real estate agent. And then I was talking to them a little bit more. Jeff out the door. He got appointments to go. I get to hang back and eat food and, pay the bill. And so there's only a biscuit. I'm not worried. They gave us the biscuit, but I bought a bunch of croissants because,
Nice.
they were good, and some cheesecake. Not supposed to have none of it, but I ate all of it.
Yeah.
Um, and so they said, yeah, well, we live in such and such a town now. And, one of our dreams is to be closer to the city, be in the city or closer to the city.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, we can make that happen. Now, me knowing me, talked about how long have you been, an owner and stuff like that, right? Just getting a feel for what their situation might be, because self-employed or business owner is unique
Yeah.
in
Sure is.
financing, right?
Mhm.
So at least we're having those conversations. And now out of that, I talked to you about a different conversation where we can bring even more, because you're working on the business advocacy and networking group, which is all inclusive to all people. But if you can niche down anything, there's always riches in the niches, as they say,
Mhm.
right? And so now if we can bring restaurant owners together, chef club, we have a reason for people to, the general public, we're going to get together as owners and business owners to move the needle forward. As a result, we're going to make unique offerings to the general public based upon each one of these places. And the only place you can get that is through us,
Yep.
right? So anybody can create ecosystems. Anybody can do these things. You just have to have a vision and build relationships with people. Make it about other people. Too many times, I think, Harrison, everybody, again, I'm going to come right back to what I always say. Everybody's looking for the exchange.
I quoted you the other day. I said, Johnny Moe calls it the exchange, and I think he's got it nailed. Because you go into the conversation with the wrong perspective, and honestly, like, I've run very large organizations around the country. I've run very smaller organizations here locally. We own several businesses in the area. Um, so I really love talking to the business owner, the business operator. I love to hear their stories, what's working, what's not. Um, because a lot of times you find that we either have a lot of similar problems. We're operating in Maine. It's not like we're in Orlando, Florida, or something. We're surrounded by millions of people. Our whole state's 1.3 million people, so our resources are a little bit limited here. But I love talking to find out, like, what are the problems you're having. Maybe we have some similar ones, or maybe I've had that problem and I've been able to figure out something that worked, and
Mhm.
vice versa. I love those conversations because it gets back to surrounding yourself with people doing similar or even grander things. The opportunities to learn from each other are just so critical. So I really enjoy those conversations, and I'm looking forward to talking with these people just to see, And I also just love to hear. I've never run a restaurant. What's that like? Like, what do you deal with? Because it seems like it's hard.
It's unique, has its
It's
unique challenges for sure. I know that. But
yeah,
yeah, to be able to have that conversation. You know, the cool thing is she gave me recommendations at 3 or 4 other restaurants,
I love
owner
that.
friends of theirs. So it's just like everything else
Yeah.
in this world. When I was doing the relocation for the hospital, doctors and their staff and the people of that caliber hang out with one another, right? And then where they go to the private country club, right? Guess what? Their friend, you need money to get into that private country club, right?
Yep.
So then it's like you get in good with one of them, and they get introduced to one of their friends, and so on and so forth. Now, next thing you know, you're selling all sorts of surgeons' homes, right?
Well, that's networking. That's literally it's who you know. Your network is your net worth, and it's all about those relationships you build, and but making sure you're not just trying to, as you mentioned, look for the exchange and try to take from. You have to make sure you contribute to. And I've always taken the approach of I want to contribute 51 cents out of the dollar that we split at least, because then I feel good about the fact that I was able to give more than I took.
Yeah, for sure.
All
What
right,
was
so
that
let's go.
lesson? Because I went on a rant.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that one was all about, asking about what else might be. Learning number two was, um, and this was actually a question we got point blank from somebody last week was, the commission conversation. And I think that, I mentioned something last week about, 72% of consumers in some poll said agents aren't worth what they charge. And in some cases, I don't think we do a good enough job of explaining what we do,
I don't
or even
disagree.
doing it well enough to justify what we do. So,
Mm.
but when you're taking a listing, one of the things that I've learned over time is that it's oftentimes confusing to the consumer what they're paying for. They see a commission number on a listing agreement, and they go, okay, like, but what does that mean? So it's important to frame that conversation in terms of, what is, I as a listing agent, this is what I make, and for that I do all these things. I
Mhm.
do all the marketing and all the coordination, all this stuff. Like, this is what I do for it. And oh, by the way, we need to share something with the other side, the buyer's agent. What would you like to share on that side? And helping the consumer understand that you're not making all of that. My goodness, no.
Mm.
You're making just a small piece of that, because you've got all kinds of expenses that go into this and operating your business and all these other things. But you've also got to share that with the other side, because in Maine we're a co-broke state. It's one commission pool that gets split up. So it's important to frame that conversation way where the consumer understands that you make a certain amount for all the things that you do. And oh, by the way, we need to share something with the other side too. What would you like that to be? Because then once I think the consumer understands how the commission works, they're less likely to get upset at what they're paying, because they think you're getting all of it in some cases. And they're like, why would I pay one person all that?
Yeah. Um, that it's always commission breath. It's always a difficult conversation to have, or people have difficulty having the conversation.
Well, there's that too.
And the reason they have difficulty in that conversation is because they can't even justify their own worth. Okay,
Totally.
there's some deep shadow stuff.
Yep.
I'm sorry if it offends anybody that's listening to it, but it is. You can't define why you're worth that amount of money,
Hmm.
right? And it's uncomfortable because it is one of the top issues that I have dealt with in 20 years talking to other agents is overcoming the commission objection, or how do you bring up the buyer agent commission, or how do you have the conversation about commission? Conversation about commission, you need to get skilled in the conversation, right? And I'll be honest with you, I've met a lot of real estate agents who aren't worth what they charge. They're not worth
Hmm.
it. But you have to detach. I think too many people look at the gap between sales and try to leverage that out. And they're like, well, I pay for every staple and paperclip. Well, that's called running a business, dude.
Yeah.
Isn't that built into your budget that you need
Yeah.
$1,200 worth of the supplies every year, right? They don't understand it. We had this conversation multiple times. People don't understand business. So then they look at, okay, I'm getting all my money on this one, and this one, but they can't
Yep.
justify why they get that. For me, I would think a solid portion of that commission has nothing to do with anything tangible. It's got everything to do with your knowledge and skill set, or the knowledge and skill set around you,
Hmm.
right? I'm paying you to be an expert with my largest asset. What
Right.
most people, their home is their largest asset they'll ever own,
Yeah.
right? 400,000. A lot of people don't have that in their 401ks, the IRAs, right? They don't have that in a savings account. Car and boat sure not worth it.
Hmm.
So the biggest asset that the average person will ever own is their home. And I want to make sure that whoever's working on that is knowledgeable and skilled, right?
Yep.
Knowledgeable and skilled. And again, let's come back to Will. He's young, but he's also around knowledge and skill, you see.
Mhm.
And that's the power of a system.
Yep.
That's the power of putting 3 pickles on, a quarter teaspoon of dehydrated onions, 2 squirts of ketchup, and 1 squirt of mustard.
Mhm.
It's a system,
A
right?
hamburger you.
Hamburger you.
Yeah. Well, but it's true though. It's when you go to Starbucks or McDonald's or any of those places around the country, what do you get? You get the same experience. And that's one of the, when you go to a brokerage, you get all kinds of different experiences because every agent's their own thing.
Mhm.
You come to a team and you generally find you get a more consistent experience because it's trained and built around, what works, what that person who's leading the team found work to build the team to the size it's at. And then the people around them just continue to fine tune and make it better. But you get a more consistent experience. And that's the point. You don't want people to be so worried about. You want people to call in and be like, "Oh, you're going to send me John. Okay, cool. Like I know John's going to do a good job, just like Jeff would have. So it doesn't really matter because like I'll be good with John because I know what I'm getting."
Yeah.
Whereas you get somebody else assigned to you, and you never know if you're at a brokerage or somewhere like that. So it's important to have that consistent experience. People know what they're getting. But to your point, we talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago. It's the confidence piece. You have to have confidence in what you're worth. You have to have confidence in being able to explain it too, but also in setting that expectation. Because a lot of times we find that when the consumer is frustrated with the experience, it's because the expectation wasn't right. And I go back to people that buy new construction. I hate to break the news, but your builders are making 10 to 15% on the house they just built you. The standard industry P&O is 10 to 12%. So your $400,000 house, the builder put 40 grand in his pocket when he built it.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum. So when the agent makes 10 grand and you get a little upset about that, when in reality, like the builder that built it was making 10-15% easy on the house. So,
Yeah.
but again, you're paying for knowledge, expertise, the training they have, the licensing they carry, the insurance they have to have, all the stuff that required to operate that business. So we're used to paying, you know, charges and fees and allowing these companies to make a profit. Shouldn't be any different for us.
Yeah, it shouldn't be any different for us. This you're providing. I remember one time I was sitting at my Remax, the first Remax I actually worked at, and I was there for 8 or 9 years. And there was a piece of land. I had somebody that wanted to buy a piece of land, and I said it to my broker Joe at the time, and Joe's like, "Hold on, let me make a phone call." Hey, know that piece of land? Da da da. Yep. Okay. Okay. So you need to run 120-foot water line, and you have a price of X. Okay. And there's ledge or there's no ledge. Okay. But he goes, all right. So that piece over on the corner of, I don't remember where it was. He goes up on the hill, 120. Man, I'd buy 6 of them at 129 now. He goes, 129,000. It's $15,000 to run the water, run the water line. They don't have sewer over there, but you got to go through ledge. He's priced it out at whatever. He goes, how much do you? He goes, how much? How much commission? I said, because I was still new, and he's like a new construction guru, right? Landed
Yep.
and construction guru, and he was younger than me, but he had 5 years in the business before, grew up in the business. And he said X percent. Okay, no problem. Make a phone call. Tell the guy 150. Okay, so I called the guy. I said 150. That includes everything, whatever. And we put the deal together. You know what I mean? But again, he was. Nobody on that side was afraid of the commission.
Right.
And me on this side, I'm just like, oh, I just want to get it done.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he said a commission percentage 2% higher than I would have said.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's not afraid to ask for it.
He's not afraid to ask for it. So he
Yeah.
asked me, should I give you that bonus? Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We negotiate harder when we trade a vehicle in than we do for our own income, and it's not even about negotiation. Just about setting the expectation, understanding the worth, and being able to support it. But it is an interesting thing in this industry where you do have those discount brokerages out there that do it for nothing, um and that's great. But the experience you get is also worth nothing, and that's where it's at. You get what you pay for in this industry usually.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's go on to the third one here, and then this will tie into a little bit more about what's going on with us kind of after this ends. So, number three, don't stop improving. And we
Never
look at
stop.
this. This is a 12-week challenge, and as I said in the email I sent to everybody, 12-week challenge. It's over for us. It's not. We're just going to continue on. We're going to just start up another 90-day cycle and go. Because honestly, like this 90-day challenge was needed. It was needed to get things. It was needed to get everybody back in motion, get things going again, get us back into the base of this business. and it's been great. 60 listings, 100 pieces of business. Like it's gotten things rejuvenated in a market that honestly it hasn't been good for most agents. We're doing all right. Would we like to be doing better? Absolutely. But in this market, we're doing all right. And so we're not going to stop. We're also not going to stop continuing to have conversations with other people around the country and other people in our marketplace to find out what's working, what's not, because we're huge proponents of masterminds. We love to hear what are the systems they're using, what are the things they've learned, what are the scripts they found luck with, what are they doing with for accountability. Like, we love to find all that stuff out, what's working for you, because honestly, we've been very good over the years of meeting these people, asking those questions, finding something that made a lot of sense, and coming back and putting it in place. Like, the best one is the direct mail we do, that golden letter.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff found that at some event he was at and came back, and it was like, got to do it. We've been doing it. It's been one of our best lead sources since. And that's so it's true with everything. Everything in your business, you should be benchmarking against not only where you were, but also where the people that are much farther ahead of you might be and how they got there. Because honestly, almost all of us will share everything we've done. Because in most cases, we didn't invent it. We found somebody else that was doing it, and we just plugged it in and did it ourselves. And it's not about recreating the wheel. It's about finding what's worked. And almost everybody will share that with you. And so that's why one of the things we're doing is as this winds down and these kind of weekly updates go away, we're going to open up a private mastermind. There's a link in the chat for it. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you join us. We're going to go deeper into the operations, the systems, the marketing, the lead gen, the scripts, bring in some guest people, do some breakout type stuff, have some, just continue to do a lot of this stuff to share, not just what we're doing, but what other people are doing to continue to ramp this up and provide some value and help people that want to see what others are doing and doing at a high level that maybe don't know who to ask or where to go, give them an outlet for that.
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely great. I think you need to continue to have those conversations around higher level people and get away from the cookie cutter conversation. Like, and one of those cookie cutter conversations is the golden letter. Now, there is an investment in stamps, envelopes, and paper.
Yep.
And most people would look at that and say ROI. What's your ROI? I'm be honest with you. I'm burnt out with the word ROI. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's misunderstood. ROI is an exchange for cash return on cash invested, right? That's basically what the definition is. But what about the return on energy? Because it's taking energy for Jeff, it's taking energy for Will, it's taking energy for Alex, it's taking energy for Phil to fill those in. Is there a value associated with that person? I don't know of any of them that are on the clock. Okay, the value is when you get paid. So
Yep.
you're not looking. If you have to, if you really want to get cute and argue with me, that's fine. But I'm not the arguing type. I just don't care. I have my opinions. All right. So you got your return on energy, which is energy return. What was returned for the energy invested? So the golden letter takes ROI investment, right? Capital investment, but it's also energy.
Yep.
So your return on investment, you may look at that and say, "Oh, return on investment is like 800% or something based upon the cost of everything and the income." But it's the energy that's the most important part. So hopefully people can start to break that apart a little bit. It takes energy and it takes an investment.
Yep.
Right. So how much energy are you willing to put into something? How much investment? You have to separate the two. And we get too cutesy with trying to, yeah, but my time's worth $250 an hour, so it's a return on my investment. Shut up. I mean, go ahead with yourself. It's a return on your energy, man. Just return on energy, return on investment. Is it worth the time? Is it worth the money? And anybody that tells me that time is money, no, time is time. You cannot buy it. So time is time. Money is money.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You can leverage time. You cannot buy time. You cannot manipulate time. You cannot do
No.
anything. You can duplicate yourself, which brings down your time costs.
Sure.
Okay. Or however you want to look at that. But know that some of these things take energy. And for me, I'm looking for a better return on energy than I am on a return on investment. I want to know that the time and energy that I'm putting into something will bear fruit, right? Because there's enough out there I can just go spend money on and get a return on.
Oh
I
yeah,
want
for
to
sure.
know that the energy that I'm putting into a relationship, the energy I'm putting into building an ecosystem, the energy that I'm putting into building a networking group, the energy that I'm pulling into building a online video freaking thing about Maine or New Hampshire returns fruit,
Yep.
right? Because I could stop all of that tomorrow and just go sell real estate and be perfectly happy and not ever make a video again. Nobody would ever see me on social media. I just go do my thing,
Yeah, yeah,
right? But there's more energy, there's bigger things. So, what is the return on energy that you're putting in? Hopefully,
yep.
that makes sense and doesn't offend anybody too much. I get told sometimes, oh, some of the stuff you say is rough around the edges, but show me the lie,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Show me the lie.
sometimes the truth hurts, and it only hurts because we feel it. We can take what's being said and go, okay, yeah, like that. You're talking to me, and I don't like it, but you're talking to me.
You're
And
talking to me too.
well, yeah, we're talking to all of us. I mean, we're all guilty of it, and it kills me when I go into these real estate forums and people are like, I got $5,000 a month. Which lead platform should I sign up for? And it's like none of them. I can show you how to spend 20% of that to generate twice the business,
Mm,
but you're gonna have to sit down at the desk for a couple of hours and dedicate some time to it.
yeah.
But the nice thing is you won't be getting these spam calls at 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night from somebody who is just kicking the tires on something. Like you're going to get people that are calling with genuine interest versus they just clicked on a link and got sucked into some lead portal like Zillow because they wanted to know if if it had two bathrooms or two and a half. But
Mm,
then it's not even a house they can afford anyways. So it's it's amazing to me how little we value the money and the profit of the business and how highly we value our time. But when you dive into how that actually works, you're burning both. You just don't realize it because you're not doing one thing, but you're burning up all the time on something else and trading a bunch of money to do so. When in reality, you could just take control of the whole process, allocate the time, not spend all the money, and get a way better result. But that requires your favorite words, Johnny Mo, discipline and accountability.
discipline and
Um,
accountability.
and that honestly is what makes the difference.
Yeah. It makes all the difference. When that is a full sentence, it makes all the difference. It makes the difference, right? Discipline and accountability make the
Yep.
difference. There's nothing we can say. I do not feel as there's anything that we can substitute. We've already done all these other things. Organization, blah blah blah, all that other stuff. It's the discipline and the accountability to do what's required to have zero gaps, have positive gaps if anything, right? But not have any negative gaps,
Right.
and to ensure that you're hitting the numbers and such, right? And you're on track to hit those numbers, and that only comes from doing the work that everybody complains about
Yep.
doing. Again, 20 contacts per day. That's
Yep.
it. That is your job. A real estate agent's job is two things. It's lead generation, and that's a vast conversation,
Mhm.
and it's appointments. That's it. That's
Yeah.
a real estate agent's job. Some people would say,
Yep.
"Oh, closing the that's it's part of the process." But when you leverage it out to a transaction coordinator or something, they're able to do 85, 90% of it, right?
Yep.
So I'm taking that into consideration. But your job, and if somebody wants to, I'll say it for you. Lead generation, appointments, and closing deals. There you
Yep.
go. Those you want, yeah, I just fixed it. There's three things,
Yeah.
right? Those are your job. Making sure the
Yep.
website's running,
That's
that's not your job. Leverage it out, right?
Yep.
Making sure this automations happen, that's not yours. Leverage it out. I know a lot of real estate agents. I am one of these kind of real estate agents. Now I'm going to figure this out tonight because I want it working. Right.
Yep.
So there's always going to be that. But if you get
Absolutely.
into a system that's any kind of system, even with Explore My Town, there's a system. We're gonna do this, 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 and this, right? In this
Okay.
order. Any system. And you guys the same thing. This is what you're gonna
Yep.
do, is this system. Anyways, I'm rambling.
No, no, but it's true, and actually, there's a great comment in the chat, and I apologize, I can't see your name. The comment is, "I found my greatest lead generating system is leveraging past clients and SOI, high ROI, medium energy needed, and small investment." And I
Yeah,
and
man.
that's all true. But the one thing I'd also add is that's probably also fun because you are talking to people that you know. You're talking to people you've worked with before, people that are in your network. So higher ROI, absolutely, because you don't have to spend a lot of money just to talk to people you already know and like.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of energy needed because again, you're out and about, you're running into them, you're having coffee with them, having lunch for them, meeting them at the country club, running into them at your kids' soccer games. Like, it's also fun. Like that's
Yeah.
the beauty when you get to a point where you built enough relationships and you know enough people and you've got enough history and you've got that database. This business, it's really a social business. You're out there, you're talking to people, you're meeting people. Hey, how you doing? What do you need? What's new? It's fun. So not only is it a high ROI and not a ton of energy invested in a small investment, but it's also a lot of fun, brings you joy, and doesn't make it feel like a job anymore. Like you're just out there having a good time with people you know, like, and trust that know, like, and trust you. And that's when everything begins to unlock. And it just, you get out of that grind and into more of a kind of a more of a relaxed social style business.
Yeah. And let me just condense that sentence down a little bit. It's all about the relationship.
We've been saying that for 12 weeks. I mean, if
Right.
you've heard nothing in 12 weeks, let me summarize the last 12 weeks for everybody. it is consistency, it's discipline, it's accountability, and it's relationships. If you learned nothing from us in the last 4 weeks except for that, I would be pumped that we were able to get that message through.
I said to somebody recently or on a podcast, I don't know where I said this recently, but I like it and I wrote it down. I don't know where I wrote it down, but I wrote it down. And it says, success is not pretty,
No.
but the rewards of success are what is pretty, right?
Yeah.
So nobody cares. Nobody wants to do the hard work. Nobody wants to do the phone calls. Nobody wants to do the networking and all these other things, right? But you all want that result,
Right.
right? You all want to show up in a nice car. You all want to have a nice house. You all want to, you know what I mean, be able to sponsor an event. You all want to be able to take clients to a baseball game or a football game or something like that. That's the reward of success. To get there,
Yep.
there's nothing pretty about it.
Yep.
Nothing.
No. I can think of that picture. It's, what we think success looks like, and it's a straight line. What it really is, and it's this line that like squiggles and turns, and it's all over the page. You get to the same place, but it's this incredibly long, winding, complicated path. And I was on a coaching call this week, and the comment was made to me of, and actually it was somebody who's actually talking to me, and the comment was, show me your calendar, I'll show you all of your problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, all right, like, yeah, I can see that. You show me your calendar, I'll show you all of your problems, because ultimately it comes down to, again, as you mentioned, time is finite. How are you spending it? And I heard somebody years ago, and I wish I can remember who it was, told me many of us think about our time. How do we spend our time? We really should be thinking about how we invest our time. Think of your time like it's like a bank balance. Would you spend your money on that stupid stuff, on the TikTok scroll, on the wasted time fooling around with something, or would you invest your time in the things that actually lead you where you want to go? And when you stop thinking about spending time, you start thinking about investing time. That to me was like my brain was like when I heard that comment. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, you're right. I think about how I spend my time. I got to start thinking about how I invest my time. Whether I'm investing
Mm-hmm.
my time in the business, in the people around me, in my family, that's not an that's I'm not spending it. I should be thinking about an investment.
For sure. And that's how I look at mine. And I want to preface everything that you just said to my creative friends. He's talking about the salespeople. You creative
Yeah.
friends, you keep creating.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Yeah,
right.
sorry. Yeah, you creative people, you just do your thing. I don't understand what you do, and that's okay.
Right. Some days I go down a rabbit hole and it's like, oh wow, it's 3 o'clock. I should probably eat
Yeah.
some breakfast.
Yeah. No, there are days that I'll check in with you later in the day, and you've been in that rabbit hole all day.
I don't care which coach you talk to. They're all gonna tell you time blocking. Time blocking, time blocking, time blocking. Every coach is going to tell you the importance of that time blocking, about spending your time or investing your time properly into activities. What is that?
It's my daily brain dump. This is all the stuff that's like rattling around in my head that I feel is important.
You can use Trello.
I can use Trello, but I find that when I write it down, I spend more time actually like making sense of it, and then
Yeah.
then it goes from there into either a calendar or something else. But
I write it all
I
down and
start
then I put the stuff that's like I can't accomplish like today kind of
yeah,
things. projecty kind of things or things
Yep.
that I want to think about later, but not today. I dump that into Trello. But yeah,
Yeah.
writing it down. I mean,
Yeah. Every night or every morning, I basically do a brain dump, and then here's the stuff I'm going to tackle today, and then the other stuff gets either put into Trello or something else where I'm going to manage it for another time. But I honestly found I've found that with so many things going on that like I don't sleep well at night until I've actually done that exercise to get everything that's in my brain out so
yeah,
that I can at least begin to make sense of. And you, honestly, sometimes there's something about being able to visualize it. Like your brain can only handle so many different thoughts at the same time. I
yeah,
find that
7.
when it starts to overflow, if I don't get those out somewhere, like my brain just can't stop. It's trying to process too many things. It's like when your computer gets stuck in that loop and it's just spinning and it
Mm.
can't get anywhere. Like I feel like my brain gets stuck there and I've got to dump it all out before I can move forward.
Yeah, I got a syntax error and I have to reboot.
Yeah. Just unplug it and plug it back in, right?
Yeah. You're gonna
Um,
need to listen to some solfeggio frequencies when you can't sleep. It'll put you right to sleep.
yeah, whatever that is.
That's what I do. Oh, they're beautiful.
So,
They're frequency beats, so it runs
oh,
at certain frequencies.
got it. Yep.
Yeah.
All
I do
right. So
crazy stuff.
let's dive into a minute here, Johnny Mo. So obviously, we've got some mastermind stuff going for real estate agents and people that are in other areas of real estate business owners trying to focus on the business side of things. But uh, um, we've had a lot of conversations with people lately that are looking for help on the creative side, whether it be, it's websites and content and SEO and marketing and all that digital stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the package that we've got coming out for the for Evolution Media Group.
Yeah.
You lead the way.
You sharing something?
I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put the link down there, but why don't
All
you?
right. So I have to preface it this way. There's 4 things, and it all starts with training. Okay. So our training and coaching will include best operations on your CRM. We're going to be using Chime. SEO things and considerations for your websites and how to rank, because I do firmly believe most people doing them incorrectly. How do you properly use Chat GPT, and it's not copy and paste, right? And then also operational systems, mindset, those kind of things. Everything starts with training. The next thing we're offering is that training with a Chime site. So you get a Chime site, which is fully portable. If you ever leave, you take it with you. And then next thing is we're going to add Explore My Town to that. And Explore My Town is the video editing and production aspect of things. And that will help. So with that, you also get training, because training is included with everything. And you'll get Chime website, because we're going to be posting the videos that we help you make to your Chime site, so you can run ads from your Chime site with the blog to Facebook, so somebody now can land on it and opt in, do whatever they do. And then the final one isn't for everybody, and I wouldn't sell it to everybody. I would
No.
not allow everybody to be on it. But it's for producers. It's for people that really understand the power of the digital world, Google in particular. And they want search engine optimization, Google My Business stuff, because there's a lot more to Google My Business.
Yeah.
I don't even know it. We have an expert coming in to do it. There's a lot more to Google My Business than just creating a Google My Business profile and website. Are you on these different directories? Have you been submitted to all these different directories? To making sure that you are where the consumer is when the consumer searches. So we're going with just basic. Hey, we're going to give you the nuts and the bolts, and we're going to show you kind of what we're doing. We're not going to show you the SEO stuff. We're going to talk about optimization and stuff like that. But there's way too much. It's way too deep. Then we're going to go in Chime websites. So you have the digital assets, and then you're going to have the Explore My Town, and then you're going to have the Explore My Town plus the SEO component to it. And that right there is a full package. So you can create, and then plus on top of that, you're going to have access to what we're doing up in Maine and what we're doing with Jeff, because we got 3 unique things happening all in one place, right?
Mhm.
And we're able to, you got a strength, I got a strength, Jeff has a strength, but we're actually able to lead the way and show people how we're using video and websites for networking and building our network, which is to me the most powerful thing. Why restrict yourself to a individual weekly meeting where you can only have one of this kind of business type? I want to meet more people. I don't
Yeah.
want to
100%.
restrict myself to that. I
Nope.
think the world has changed. And those things are perfectly fine. I'm looking to do something. I'm looking to dominate. I'm not looking to be average.
Yeah. 100%.
right?
I'm looking
So
to own a
what we're going
market.
to teach you how to do is what you're doing, what Jeff is doing to dominate with I Love Portland, Maine, with the I Love Portland, Maine project, with the business advocacy and networking group, with Chef's Club, like we talked yesterday, where people are going to want to join our group to get the coupon for next month's restaurant, right?
Yep.
These are the things that we're putting together. Now, I talk about these things openly and freely. I'll tell you what we're doing. I'm not going to give you the blueprint for free. You're gonna, yeah, you're gonna have to invest your time and energy and money into what we've learned and what we've
Right.
done and what we've perfected, because we have humans involved. Humans require income, right? So we have to pay these people to keep the machine moving,
Yep.
right? But investing in yourself, and it's not even investing in yourself. This is investing in your business and your brand, right?
Well,
Because the things that you will learn and the tools that you'll have will help you make hundreds of thousands of dollars every year.
that's the thing. This is a chance to really build a brand, be that community leader type person from the ground up. And I look at it as like I look at our chime site, I love portlandmaine.com, and we've effectively created our own YouTube because it's hosting all of our content. It's got blogs, it's got videos, it's got opt-ins, it's got IDX. So if somebody like really loves something we talked about and they want to find a house maybe that's near that restaurant, they can go look for it. They can opt in for newsletters. We can do small business network and engagement on that. Like it's allowing us to create effectively it's our own YouTube, it's our own community page, it's our own networking platform.
Media company.
I was going to say, and then when you ravel it all up, it goes back to Gary Vee's original concept of turning yourself into a media company. And honestly, when you look on there, it's not all about us. You know, it honestly, a lot of it is about other businesses.
Yeah.
It's interviews with other business owners. It's features and spotlight their businesses. It's not about us. You know, we're the conduit to it because ultimately we're out there. We want to build the relationships. We want to help the community, and because of that, because we're so present, we're going to meet a lot of people, and it also generates business for us. But we're not leading with what's in it for us. We're leading with what's in it for our community that we care a lot about and that we are ourselves invested in. And then from there, the results come to us. But we looked at a case study on that SEO stuff that's being done. They're getting a 600% return on a not very expensive SEO package. Uh, I look at the ability to control the content, control the traffic. You know, all of us create stuff, and a lot of us just kind of post and pray. And I've been preaching this lately with our partners. We got to get out of the post and pray mentality and get into the post and drive mentality. Don't post and pray people see it. Post and drive people somewhere to see it. And the hard part is when you're on Facebook and YouTube and you don't control the platform, it's hard to do that. When you get one of these chime sites with your own vanity domain and you're focused on your community, now your likelihood of showing up in the search results is so much higher. But now you control that traffic flow to a site that you control. So now if Facebook changes its algorithm or YouTube is just loving changing how they run stuff, you don't care. It doesn't matter to you anymore because you're not beholden to somebody else's environment.
I have this idea that if you get 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 people on a mailing list because you're providing something of value, you're not just, I'm a real estate agent. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. Because that's what the other lot of them are doing.
Yep.
And if this is offensive, good. If it's not offending you, you're the ones that I'm talking to. Okay. But it's really true. If you look at I sold another one, right? How
Yeah.
can I help you? I got a goal to help 42 families this year. Well, you have a goal. That's just a number that you need to hit to
Right.
get to your personal goal. Call it what it is, man. Stop hiding behind these coy things,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
If
People
you
people
got
see it for what it is.
5,000, 10,000, 15,000 people on a newsletter, that's getting your newsletter every month. I'm not even going to say every week. All right. So I just took another excuse away. We're going to do it every month. You're going to send out a higher quality newsletter. And if you want the coupons to this particular event, the only way you're going to get them is opting in right here. Hey, here's the coupons for the month. This is our event that we're showcasing. By the way, the real estate market's doing really good. Check your home value here. And if you want to take a look at all the homes for sale, click here. Let us know where we should go next.
Yep.
Right? Do you know anybody that owns a business, owns a restaurant? Get them involved because you are the community. We want to support mill places. And if you're just a consumer, if you're a consumer and you just a consumer, right? You're just a consumer. If you're a consumer, where should we go next? What's your favorite place? Who's got the best chicken wings?
Yep.
right? Now you have something. You're not talking about, just a regurgitation of real estate all over the screen, all over the screen. You're actually talking about things that people are interested in.
Yep.
Everybody wants to try something new, or, oh my God, I wanted to try that place, but I wasn't going to pay $15 for a rib, but I can get them for $7 on special. Okay, cool. Only on the first Tuesday of the month. Cool.
Yep.
And I can only get them with your with your app. You understand, people? You can take a website and have it turned into anything you want.
Mhm.
Where when you go to a restaurant, you're like, see, I got the coupon. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be that person.
Yep.
Be
Yeah.
that person.
And honestly, it's not for everybody. Like
It's
there are some
not.
people that this is going to be way more than they ever want to do, and
Mhm.
totally understand that it is a lot. You know, we are trying to network at a very high level. We are trying to build effectively a community page from the ground up, build networking and advocacy from the ground up. It is a lot, but the difference is, you know, like everything else, you know, we're going to stick with it. We're gonna follow this thing through. We're going to go through all the steps to do it. But in the end, what it ends up being is a powerhouse of connectivity, and brings everybody in the community together, brings large sections of the community together, becomes a place people visit for information, and then, like we've seen some other agents do around the country, you become that centerpiece of the community where people are coming to you for the news. Like they don't even watch the news anymore; they're coming to you to find out what's going on,
Yeah.
because you've earned that much trust from them.
Maine geographically is a mammoth-sized state. I've never been to all sides of Maine,
Me
right?
neither.
It's a mammoth-sized state, and there's so much unincorporated territory,
Yep.
right? Now, you said 1.2, 1.3 million. It's
Yeah.
somewhere
One
between
point.
that too.
1.3.
Okay, so 1.3 million. 80% of that is in the Metroplex and
Yeah.
Southern Maine, right?
Yep.
So basically, let's just call it Augusta South, right?
Yep.
Augusta Midcoast South. That's 80% of the Maine population. So what you're doing is to a large population. So it has to be large. It has to be bigger, in my
Yep.
opinion. But a lot of people, I don't want to say most people, a lot of people don't live in markets that are that big. I'm in Manchester, our metro, Manchester Metro, you know, I don't know, New Hampshire's 1.2 million people,
Yep.
or 1.2 million people. So even in my area, you want to do something, you got to do it big, but there's also the opportunity that in Manchester alone is 120,000,
Yeah.
right? I could do something in Manchester, even if I went to Concord, where the population's like 60,000. We got Chris up there, or Portsmouth, where the population is 60,000. You can still have a mammoth impact.
Absolutely.
You can still have a mammoth impact in the market that is, and you don't have to do it as big. You can be smaller. We're trying to do it in the greater Portland, Maine area that encompasses, 800,000, I would say 750,000 people, right? You got to be bigger. You want to stand out to 750,000 people. It's got to
Yeah.
be a little bit bigger. There's got to be a little bit of value to it. But the cool thing about it is we can help you do it no matter the size of your market.
Exactly. So like you look at like Portsmouth, 60,000 people, you're probably somewhere between 15 and 20,000 households. Let's call it 15,000 households just to be
Mhm.
conservative. If the average person moves every 7 years, that's about 15% churn. Let's call it 10 use around numbers. That's 1,500 sales. Probably closer to like 2,200 transactions a year happen just in Portsmouth.
Mhm.
Um, Now, if you could get 10% market share by doing all this, even if you only got 10% of market share, you're talking 200 sides a year in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good sized team.
Pretty good sized team. So listen, here's the thing.
And I'm from Portsmouth. The price point down there is nice.
Yeah, it is pretty good. And here's the thing. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah,
It's either going to be you or your competition.
Yep.
That's it. Can't say it no other way. Somebody's got to do it. It's either going to
Yep.
be you or your competition, and whoever gets there first and whoever is the loudest, don't even have to be the best.
Yep.
Wins. Anyways.
Yeah, and it goes back to an old saying, and I heard this recently again. It's, generally the person that wins is not the person that's the best; it's the person that's the best known.
Yeah.
It's all about branding. Does Nike make the absolute best shoe out there? I don't know. Maybe they do, but everybody knows about their shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that, does does Budweiser make the best beer? Absolutely not. But everybody knows what Budweiser is.
They do now.
Yeah. We are not even going there. But yeah, I mean, it literally it's best known. The best
Right.
known is going to win.
That's what I say.
So
Be loud, be proud.
yep. All right, so we gotta wrap it up here, Johnny Mo. So thank you to you for moderating and hosting the 90 and 90. We appreciate you making us do this publicly. We've done it several times. We've always done it quietly. So thank you for making us bring it out there and do it in the open. I hope people got value from that.
Me too. What grinds my gears? Y'all want more listings, but your engagement was so minimal.
Yeah.
I know some people went back and whatever it was.
Sure.
It's easy to complain than to look in the mirror,
Yeah.
right? So maybe what I know you're going to ask me for a closing piece. I'm
Yeah.
going to
So
give it. I just
give it to me now.
I just jumped in. I'm going to give it to you. Maybe it's time to look in the mirror and have that real hard conversation with yourself and understand that maybe you might be the reason you're not hitting your goals. Maybe you're the excuse. Think about it. Take a look at it, because here's the thing. If you really wanted to get 20 listings or 30 listings or be a top name real estate agent, you would have got involved. You would have got involved with somebody that sells 325 houses a year, who's training a 20-year-old to have 23 houses under contract right now. That 20-year-old is going to blow most of you away. You would have got involved. I'm sorry to say it. Maybe it's time to look in the mirror deeply when nobody's home, because they'll think you're crazy. Do it when nobody's home and have that conversation in the mirror with yourself and say, am I the reason I'm not hitting my goals? I had to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
Still do it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. There are days I have to really, when I'm frustrated, I gotta step back and go, okay, like what can I change about this? Well, if I can change more than one or two things, then it's entirely on me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So my parting thought will be this business is very simple, but it does not mean it's easy. Do not try to do this alone. And I appreciate all those people that are out there as solo agents doing their thing, and God bless you, because that's hard. But don't do this alone. Between stuff like this that we do and the community leaders Facebook group, there's plenty of free stuff out there to help you
Mm-hmm.
along the way, where you can learn a lot of nuggets from what
Ton.
we're doing, what other people are doing. But also, there are some other opportunities that are not a lot of money to really get involved, to get engaged, to go deep, to really learn what's working. Don't try to do this alone. Don't try to be that lone wolf. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Take advantage of the stuff that's out there where you can learn the path and basically get the shortcut or the cheat code. Do that, because we did it, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, man.
So with that, Johnny Mo, I think that puts a bow on 90 and 90. So we're gonna wrap up around 60 listings in 90 days. Thank you for hosting it. We hope everybody that did follow along got some benefit from it, and they're taking a bunch of listings. And if you need us, you know where to find us. But we'll be back around with something else here in the near future. Links are in the chat for the stuff that's going on. We hope to see you there.
Peace out.
See ya.